a company has great sales growth, you know that company's gonna be good because no matter what they're providing, they're having sales somehow. Even pharmaceutical, they get government grants through sales, government opportunities.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Let's Excel Show, a platform for our people where we strive to excel. I'm your host, Excel Lopez. And this is my boy, financial literacy expert, at least in my book, Paul. Man, what's going on, Paul? How you doing, brother? Cheers, brother.
Thank you, Excel. Thank you for having me over here. You know, it's an honor. You know, I appreciate it. So, it's a nice studio you got going on here.
Yo, man, thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Like, what's that called? You loyal to the show, man. You locked in on like every episode and shit, and you give me like the feedback that I need about it. So like I appreciate you like being there and just, you know, enjoying our process and our journey. Thank you for being a part of that.
No, of course, dude. This is great. Like, seeing a project, you know, grow from the very beginning and develop, you know, is a beautiful thing.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Shit is hard work. Shit is hard work.
I mean, I bet, but you know, I seen the development.
Yeah, man. Yo, can't stop, won't stop. P. Diddy. Yo, man. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us about like your background. Like, yo, where you from?
Well, born and raised in New York. You know, I grew up with my mom and my stepfather, being my mom from Puerto Rican background and stepfather from Dominican background. You know, they were a big influence in my life. You know, grew up in a church environment. You know, there was a lot of discipline involved, but you know, there's also fun parts. And I thank them for everything. You know, they taught me a lot of value. You know, they actually had an impact on, you know, my love with numbers, you know, my managing, financing, and all the above.
Okay, so that's how you got your start of like knowing like how like money works in a little bit. Like they taught you like basic principles on that.
Yeah, especially with my stepfather. He was really good when it came to just like managing the finance, knowing where to put it, where to allocate it, how to make the gain. It was just natural in him, you know. Seeing him, you know, growing up, seeing him do that over and over, you know, I felt like I kind of inherit that skill in a way. I was like, oh.
Okay.
You know?
So it was more of just like you like watched and learned, or like you like asked questions and like it piqued your interest in that route?
You know, watch and learn at the beginning, and then as time went by, you know, I started asking questions. You know, I want to say, hey, listen, I want to be doing the same thing. I want to make some gains. I want to have, I want to make some money at the same time.
That's what's up. Nah, absolutely. That's what we should all be trying to do. Because like we in like our community, we only know about making money through our jobs, through our work. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to, I have a mentor, I have a friend from college from Lehman. We both went to Lehman, right? Yeah. Shout out to Lehman College, bro. That's what's up. He waved at it. Hey, Lehman. Nah, but in Lehman, like whatever, I have a mentor, a friend of mine. And he goes and he will tell me, hey, every person should have 1.5 jobs, you know, like one job, like, you know, take care of your finances. That other half is like, you know, the money that you go to like invest in yourself in some sort of fashion. So I always take that like as a like a lesson, like a life lesson, just to always have something like in the backdrop that you could fall back on, that you could keep working and keep getting better. So that's what we're doing. That's how you've seen the growth a little bit, because this is the half job that's gonna hopefully will turn into the full-time job. You know,
that's the goal. That's the goal right there. Like, making that change, because you know, you at one point you ask yourself, when will be the last time you work a 9 to 5? You know, you also want to make that transition, like you said, as a half job. You're gonna want to like map it out, make the goals. All right, how can I make this half job work for me? Making sure that brings the income back, and you know, I could just sit back and just chill or explore the world or enjoy life or start a nonprofit organization. Anything to be financially free, that you could get your time back.
Correct. That's what we need, our time back. Time is the most precious commodity, right? Can't really buy it. Yeah, bro. But we could like get more of it back.
And it's true, you know, you use time. Time doesn't come with a receipt.
Look at that shit. And you love numbers, so that receipt is pivotal. So, we worked together at a point in time in Wall Street. Yeah. So that's like, that's the hub about everything finance, everything financial. You know, that's where like money goes and like, you know, money makes the world go around. So like, hopefully we could teach you guys something a little bit about financial literacy, because like I'm gonna learn right here in this conversation as well. This ain't just like I'm gonna be here like asking you the questions and like trying to soak it in as best as possible. So let's talk about like the basics of like credit like versus debit. Like what's that about?
Oh well, think about it like this. It's like a left and right. It's like this: for every debit is a credit. For every credit is a debit. Think about it like this: a debit is basically in your debit card, your debit account. You get your deposit. That's your asset, that money, and then anything you credit into a balance sheet, basically, or anything you use as a credit is it's money that that you. How can I put this? I'm trying to like make it simple as possible, real quick. Just give me 1 second.
You go ahead, bro. Take your time. Like, so it's like more just of like anything you use, you lose, right?
More like a game. Think about more like your debit account, your debit card.
Yeah.
That's your asset. And then a credit card. Credit card basically is like a record. Your liabilities. You use this credit card to like make recurring payment to build your credit to get more funds, because in this country, if you don't have credit, you ain't nothing basically.
Yeah.
You could have money under your couch, money under your mattress. You could have
Stop telling my spots, bro.
you got thousands, 10,000s, money in your debit account and your regular checking account, savings. But if you don't have a credit line is basically your history. Mm-hmm. How do you get the money? How do you build it? How much you're worth. All right, you got 50,000 on credit. All right, guess what? Get you a house, get you a car.
Yeah, and with that credit history, they can see that you're financially responsible.
Exactly.
Right? Because there's no responsibility. They can only see just like your purchases and your credit, like in your debit. I apologize.
Exactly.
They only see the purchase and then the money that's coming in, but they don't know like if you make a big purchase in your credit, are you gonna pay that off on time, little by little? Like he goes, because this is like that was like an investment that they did on you, right?
Yeah, it's like a survey. It's like a bank survey. Look at it like that. Like if you have good credit, basically your higher chances getting a bank loan to get a nice apartment, nice car, because it's a record they already have. That's why it's important. And the good thing about like I always look at myself with the way I look at things is more like you got to organize it. Like all my recurrings, anything that's recurring, I have it in a credit card line, and then I basically add up. All right, so in recurring bills, I got 1,500 monthly. Then before the end of the month, 1,500 goes from my debit account to my credit. Bam, hit the recurring. Point goes up. Everybody's happy.
That's dope.
And then, keep doing it like that. You're eventually going to gradually increase your score to a point where, you want to reach a 780 or 800. And, that's a good thing because you want to get a condo, maybe a car, who knows, maybe a private jet.
There's anything and everything. Like this, like there's no limit to you if you're doing things correctly, right?
Mm-mm. Exactly. There's no limit. It's all about just discipline because, sometimes let's say you got a $10,000 credit line. Some people don't know how to act because, you don't have to really like feel the burn of using that credit line because it's not your money, but then, it's going to affect your records in the long run.
Yeah. Like what would you say is the percentage that somebody should use of their credit line? Like say, for instance, 10,000 is their credit line. How much should somebody use to like, and then like be like stable and then like have a nice looking record with that?
I would say if you could stay 40 to 50%, just would be perfect because it's like you're basically halfway. If you use 40%, you still got additional 10%. And when you do credit history, you're not like you haven't used all of it up. All right, this guy's responsible. He makes his recurring payment. He keeps a certain level. All these credit bureaus they do look at these type of records. They look at every little details. All right, how much he has left in his credit line at the end of every month. Because, I came across a lot of cases, people that use their whole credit line at the end of the month. And then when when the bureau basically, they review this or you apply for a bank loan or anything, they basically see, all right, this man used all $10,000, but he's only paying back 10%. It's not good enough because it's a higher default risk.
Mm-hmm.
So, having at least 50 to 40% still available gives him that, there's not going to default. At least it's half of it there. He knows how to manage and control himself financially because it kind of lets him know how much control you have over your financials.
Yeah. Like it's not just like you're just basically like, taking like food from like hand to mouth instead of just like being able to put some to the fridge, and like be able to store and save some for later, right?
Exactly.
Look at that shit. Wow, I'm making sense.
I mean, listen, you got a taste of the field too. At one point, working on Wall Street, you saw a lot. Honestly, is that at the end of the day, money, credit makes the world goes around too.
Speaking of that, like with credit, like we like us learning, like working together, like I had never learned that you could kind of pay off like fixing your credit, like as like a payment towards just doing that. Like that was like something that kind of like opened my eyes that, oh, not saying that like my credit is pretty decent, but other people that isn't, they could just take off those black stains off their record. Like, what's that about?
Well, they got programs, credit repair program that help with discrepancies or pointage. The only thing is that it does clean your record, but you're still responsible for any past due bills. Hey, listen, you owe $5,000 to this American Express company. Basically, yeah, they wipe it out. So whenever they do like credit background checks and stuff, it doesn't come out, but you're still liable for that balance. And a lot of times when what will happen is that if you don't pay your balance, sometimes most of these consumer debt creditors will just charge it off into your taxes as a 1099, which meaning that now you got to pay it through Uncle Sam.
And they don't play.
Yeah.
So now,
but it's something that it works. It has its work. It depends on your situation. Some people like having clean record credit for they could get certain type of opportunities with bank. Because if let's say the bank sees that you're late with payment, you're late with this, or you're paying this partial, because those stuff showing your record brings your point down. You're not gonna get that low interest rate home loan that you wanted, and then you'll be stuck with something high interest rate. So this is is important. These things are really important because they help in the long run, especially for individuals like us that are trying to buy a home, buy a car, and don't want to be stuck with a high interest rate or don't want to be refinancing in the future. Any type of mortgage or debt or loans, is best to use this because kind of just clears out your record. It says, oh, you got 780 credit score. All right, clean records. It's nothing. Perfect. Let's go for it. Because a lot of time you could have good credit score, but you got to pass and you got to clean up that dirty past.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta wipe that shit clean. I hear that. So like that's one dope aspect of like being able to like, manage or fix some of your financial like orders and stuff. But like there's things that like now, like before, like we never knew about opportunities of like the stock market. Like being in Wall Street, like, you learn a lot about these things. So like the stock market was something that was kind of like blocked off from us. But now that we're in the age of information and things are like at the touch of a button, like now is the time that we should just be able to jump in and make some money, make some gains. So in like the basic layman terms, like what would be like what's the anatomy of a stock? Like what's a stock?
Well, to break it down to the simplest form, a stock is ownership. It's a certificate saying you own that company. Like it's like, for example, you give that company money. Now you got ownership of it. It's like you lend your friend money. Somewhere now you have ownership over that because your friend has an IOU. So the way stocks works is basically we invest into these these companies that become open to the public. Reason they come open to the public is because they need more funds, money, and then money that they're probably getting from like their private investors or banks. Probably not sufficient to their plan of expansion. So a lot of times they go into IPO, which is an initial initial IPO.
Proprietary IPO. So what's the P?
Oh man, I had a little brain fart.
And it's okay.
Initial public offering.
There you go. Good save.
It's like a little brain fart. It was a long night,
bro. I had brain farts every episode, bro. Like you've seen.
So it's important because a lot of these that's when a lot of these corporations go public. So the public now have access to the over-the-counter market where they could just, buy. And is really good, but also risky when it's an IPO because you have no history of this company to the public. You just got to base your information on balance sheet and past investors and, company longevity. So the way it works, basically, I buy $100 worth of stock. and from this X, Y, and Z stock. So in that case, now I have what 1%, 2% ownership of that stock. I mean of that company, and whatever that company makes in revenue, I get a certain percentage back because of the ownership. Yeah. It's very basically simple. It's an IOU.
Yeah, like I always check out like on your stories, like on IG and stuff. Like you would go and it feels like that's home for you. Like when you're down in Wall Street, because you go and then like you get geeked up when a new IPO pulls up, and then like you go take a pic of like the companies that are like just dropped and stuff, and you know, now you got something else to look at and see what they're about, you know, because then that means that they're betting on themselves right there, you know, instead of just staying private, correct?
Yeah, because they want more funds. Because for example, like is a lot of times they either the private investor or they're like the directors of the board of directors of companies are not probably giving enough funds, or they just want to expand. There's a lot of variables. Sometimes it could be that they do have enough funds from the private investor, but they just want more for their expansion and, you know, for plans, for future goals in the company, which is good. Because a lot of times, like I said, again, like the question from earlier, you said how does kind of impact finance in the world. It's more like if stocks aren't doing good, corporates aren't doing good. So if the corporate aren't doing good, the whole economy crash. So, you know, not crash like that, but it's not a good thing to just say.
Yeah, it's just a bad balance, right?
Exactly. You always want to be in zero balance.
Yeah.
And like I said, again, stocks are just an ownership, certificate of ownership. There's a lot that comes with stocks. You know, you get voting rights. You know, if you own enough stocks in a company, at one point you get majority of the vote.
I've had stocks where they ask for like your proxy about certain issues that are like arising, like so like you said, like you do get a say. Maybe the smallest say possible, 0.00001, but it's a say for sure. So with a company, like I always see like things about like earnings per share or whatnot, like about these, because like the earnings reports are like basically like the statuses of how the company's doing. Like, can you explain that a little better for people?
Sure.
For myself, shit.
I mean, sure. So, in the way it works is that those numbers they get, like price, earning, or earning per share, is all based on one simple sheet, which is a balance sheet. So the balance sheet determines the health of the company asset. You know, you got both the balance sheet and the income statement. And just looking at those those two, you could tell a lot about the company. So basically, if a company has good sales growth, you know, every company has sales from servicing, from software, network, what else? Other product, fast food, restaurant, everything has service or sales. If a company has great sales growth, you know that company's gonna be good, because no matter what they're providing, they're having sales somehow. Even pharmaceutical, they get government grants through sales, government opportunities. So, you know, when a company has, like, when you look at the sales section and you see that it just keeps going up and up and up for the last 4 years, depending on longevity, then, you know, that's a great company. Also, another way to explain it is like, what's the company overhead cost for the product? Like, yeah. You think about it, Apple pays around what, $20 to $50 for an iPhone and sells it for $1,000. You know, that's a great
ratio, margin. That margin
is crazy. So, you know, you look at things like that. Those are the only details you want to look at always, because those are the most important. The rest are as well, but if a company's doing great in sales and they're saving a lot in overhead manufacture, then that's a company you want to invest in, because you know it's having a bright future.
For sure.
Unless there's political issues going on or it's a foreign company, you know, that's a different story.
Yeah. Like there's always things that I always see, like where is the best place to get that type of where do you get that information, the balance sheet? Because like that's available to the public, correct?
Yeah, it's public information, especially when they go IPO. So basically, you go to the company's website, you scroll all the way down, you will see
where they try to hide that shit.
Yeah, see contact us, you see career, you see affiliates. Just look for investors, invest in the investment page. When you click on that, you're gonna get all type of like balance sheets, income statement of the company is open to the public. Always review it. You always want to just go straight to sales growth, overhead costs. You know, those are important, because if a company is spending a certain amount of money for a product and selling it for a certain price, that's important, because Apple doesn't pay like $500 to make an iPhone, sell it for 1,000. Wouldn't make sense because it's a lot of overheads. You have labor costs, pieces, all the above, service,
Shipping. Yeah, every inventory, like you said. Like,
So that's the basic important details.
yeah, absolutely.
And also, sorry to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead, bro. You go.
Also, it's
a
like
you
you
thing.
go like if it's something that you're scared of taking a risk and you don't, you're new to it. Going to Investopedia is good because you get to like try the market. Like it mimics the market, but it's a mock. It's not real money.
Oh,
You
nice.
practice and you look for, it gives you a lot of definition. They have a great directory that helps you understand the market. If you don't know a word or term, type it, have it right there, and they're very straightforward with a definition.
What's the name of that?
Investopedia.
Investopedia? Nah, that needs to be highlighted there. Investopedia. Nah, for real. That's good because I never heard of that. But that'll definitely help people out so they could like if they want to learn on that. The hell's that?
And also, like I think about more like political stuff and more like, for example, not sorry, political, like Wall Street Journal is also good, especially if you want to see if you have like accounts that you like that are foreigns, account that basically that you have that you invested on a foreign account and stuff. And you got to always be involved because you don't know what happens outside. If I'm investing in stocks in South America, China, or like even in Europe, it's good to go to the Wall Street Journal or like basically their business and investment section, and you just want to read about what's going on outside the world because it helps you. They kind of get straight to it. And you see me every morning at work. I was always on it every morning.
Yeah, you were like that. That made me happy to see that because that's something that it shows that you're plugged in. You're plugged into like the money, like where the money's moving, like what's going on, like like you're saying the cost or if there's bad pub on something, like that kind of stuff weighs heavily on the people. Like for instance, things that like for instance, during I think it was like the FIFA, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He was there like in a press conference. FIFA was promoted by a certain soda brand, and he's all about fitness. So, and he doesn't like put like nasty stuff and like in like toxic stuff in his body. So he goes, takes the soda out, off the table, throws it out, and just went and goes like this water. That company's stock price off of that move, like they lost like $6 instantly per share off of that one move. Because that's Cristiano Ronaldo saying that this shit is crap. It's bad for you. Like that. That's the most biggest way of the opposite of an endorsement you could have from a soccer legend to they say like this product is no good, throws it off a table. That just says a lot. So every movement has that reaction that cause an effect. Like, have you seen anything on that sort where you see like a stock?
Oh yeah, come on. Like the last 4 months, think about it. The whole thing with the Coors Light. What was it?
Or Bud Light?
Bud Lights.
Yeah.
And like Target. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It's like it's like.
That's a great point with the Target one. The Target one, because actually the Bud Light one, I knew about that one, and I was like, yo, I remember there was a beer that was having issues, and I looked at the stock price and I go, oh no, I said they actually held up pretty well, even though there's a backlash to it. But Target was losing billions.
Yeah, they got
billions off of that.
They got
what was that it was like the transgender kids line or something.
Yeah.
That's a crazy move.
That's another thing about investment in corporation is that a lot of these companies that are to the public gotta they have to move a certain way because not only they had to abide by like certain like state laws, federal law, or even like basically agency is a lot. It's like walking on fire almost basically.
Walking on eggshells, right?
Eggshell basically because it's like they have to abide. Then it's like one thing I learned is that you can't please everybody, every crowd. So that's the thing about corporations. You got to choose who's your audience, who's basically the one you're always going to be bringing in, who's basically your main audience, who's your main consumers, and X, Y, and Z. So that's one thing that helps a lot of companies. Like companies that have their fixed audience and fixed price are always bound to be successful because even in hard times, they'll take a loss because they know it's a cycle. That in the near future, they're going to get their gains again.
yo, we gonna get the gains. We got the core. Like, what if the audiences you want is everybody?
Well, I mean,
Se jodió todo.
but you gotta pick a struggle.
You gotta pick a struggle. Yo, guys, I'm gonna keep thinking about this struggle when we take this quick little break. Yo, guys, stay locked here in the Let's Excel show.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? If you haven't subscribed to us yet, you're wildin'. If you listening to us, streaming us, and you still haven't hit follow, you're bugging. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. All that stuff you do for us, we fuck with you. Thank you. Love, peace. Let's excel.
Back to the Let's Excel show. You're stuck with me again, yes. But yo, Paul is here to help you guys out.
Hey.
Yeah, man. So yo, man, we left off talking about Target, how the backlash negatively affected their stock price. So on the 17th of May, like they're like in the last months of their stock price, it was at their high at 161. Once that shit came out, in a week's time, that shit went down $14, $15. In 2 weeks' time, it went down $30. So like people just know about the ownership of the company, about stocks. But that next level into like that financial world and that realm is stock options. Like, talk about what a stock option is, and then we could talk about how we could use that information to like take advantage of that Target information.
Well, a stock option, an option is basically a contract, a financial contract, a financial contract between two parties. And in an option, you got a winner and a loser. So it's like if you gain $50 from an option contract, somebody's losing $50. So the way it works is basically is a fixed contract. So
a fixed contract during a duration of a fixed time as well.
Yeah, both. Yeah. So the value and the time is fixed. So basically, an example of an option would be you make a call. You make a call that, let's say, X, Y, and Z stock price.
What's a call though? Before we because we gotta talk about it in layman's terms. Right? We gotta talk in street terms. Yo, we'll call B.
So a call is basically when you're like, let's say, you're making a call. You're basically saying that the target stock price 2 months from now is gonna hit 200. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up.
So call is a positive gain.
And then in the option contracts, you also have a put, which you want to put down. Basically, you put it down because you say target is going to go below 120. So you want to put this down, this contract down. And it's basically an X and Y. So, for example, you got to look at either the put as a X and like the Y or the X wherever, or you look at the call as an X and or Y. So is like if you put it in a bar graph, you'll see how they each correlate to each other. So, for example, the thing about option is that it's a fix. It's easy money. So basically, you're saying that target is going to go up in 1 month to 200. Price is 130. Now, what happened is that you buy a premium. Your strike price is 200. Stock price is at 130. If the stock price reaches 200,
which is the strike price, like you said,
you're at zero. You're at the money. But anything above 200 is going to be a gain. So the fun thing about option contract is that there's an unlimited gains, but there's also, the opposite end. There's an unlimited loss.
There's a limited loss, so just the amount of how much you pay for the contract, right?
The premium.
So for the premium for the contract. So say if you paid $100 for that contract, and it went below, and then like whatever you forecasted it wrong, you're gonna lose a portion of that, or maybe up to $100 into that contract, right?
Yeah, correct.
Got you. Now, with that being said, with the target information, so for instance, you see there's a backlash in the news about something that they've done, or any company for that matter. So if Target goes, they have a backlash. They have people boycotting their shit. When people stop buying shit, when there's a boycott of a company, what does that mean for the company's sales? Which is the key pivotal thing about finance.
It brings the sales down.
It brings the sales down. So when you see negative pub on the news, that's just basically like you're sticking a fork in them for the time being, for that moment. So you should think right there, yo, it's time to buy this put, right? This is a thing that people don't really learn. Like I just learned about puts 2-3 years ago, about that you can make money off of a company doing bad. And like as much as that shit sucks to say, like, because you want everybody to be successful, but that's just not a thing. You know, just not everybody
can't please everybody.
Can't please everybody.
So this is it goes back to that earlier term that we said that, you know, for every winner there's a loser.
Yeah.
So think about it like this: a company's not doing, like Target wasn't doing good. You know, they were losing, but somebody else in the other spectrum was winning because, you know, there was a lot of put options stating that this stock would drop, this stock was going to go this point. So what happened is that, let's say if they put the put option when it was 150 and stocks dropped to 130, those people that had the put option have the right to sell that security, underlying security, for 150, even as it's 130. So they make a profit. So imagine people that bought 100, 1,000, 5,000 of these stocks. They made a hell of a profit.
Yeah, the options of the contracts.
Yeah.
Because once you buy, like, you could, like, that's the beauty about it as well. You could buy multiple amounts of a contract. If you're so sure that this shit is about to plummet or this shit is about to, like, elevate, like, you could make a hell of a killing and shit. Like, during the times, like, in the pandemic, in the very beginning, that's when I first learned about stock options. And that's at the same time, that's when the meme stocks came out. That's when the meme stocks happened.
Oh boy, that's a upcoming story right now.
That's a story. So we could tell me about your story about how you capitalized on that.
Well, you know, first thing first, I want to give a shout out to one of my friends who actually had a great influence on it. And he showed
We'll charge you for the plug.
He basically kind of helped me understand more the technical part, when to do it, because I already had the fundamental part, you know, looking through the sheets, how to read the number. But something about, so my boy Andrew Melendez, thank you for, you know, for
Drewski.
Drewski.
Yeah,
you know,
good shit. Shout out, boy.
Next episode, like,
Gots to have.
He helped me kind of understand, because he was very always on the technical part, reading about these articles, you know, reading about everything that's going on, and he would say it here and there. And then I was like, all right, yo, you know what? This kid knows what he's really saying, because I you know, I've been in the fields like this. He knows his shit. Sorry, excuse me, but he knows his thing. Shit. And I kind of realized, you know, with the whole GameStop, with the whole AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond, he was right about it. And it was like, it's funny, like, because you know, I actually like listened to him, you know, capitalize on it, and, you know, help me in the long run. I'm like, yo, he knows the technical part. That's pretty good, because that's important, because you got the fundamental part and the technical, you know, what stock to invest, and then when to invest.
When to invest and when to pull out of it. Yeah, when to, like, get in, make those gains, and come out. Because, like, people got to understand, like, when it comes to this stuff, like, you can't get too greedy when it comes to things. Like, I learned through my experiences with options, contracts and stuff. I learned I'm a day trader. Like, I learned, like, I go and I try to, like, extend it maybe a day to try to see, like, if I could capitalize on a moment that I know that's going to be beneficial. I'm good at that moment. But the cutting out of it was the issue about things, you know? Like, that second day was when, like, it was basically, like, another term is called a pump and dump, right? Pump and dump is when a lot of people are putting money into it, but they know that they're going to pull out of it and then make money on the back end when it goes down.
And that's basically, like, FINRA cracks down heavy on that when it comes to, like, pump and dump type of situation. The SEC, FINRA, all these SRO, self-regulation organization, they crack down on it, because, you know, people make easy money, and sometimes a company is hurt. And when a company is hurt, employees are hurt. Employees are hurt, they can't pay their bills or family. You know, it's a big domino effect it has. For every winner, there's a loser. But heck, listen, the meme stocks, actually, you know, if you think about it, it's like you said, you can't get too greedy, because even in a regular stock, normal stock, IT stocks, you can't get too greedy, because there's a time to pull out. You know, there's a time to invest, to buy again and invest. And that's the thing I learned. I researched the company, the fundamental part. What's holding it back? What's the back support of this company? You know, where's the sales coming in? Are they providing streaming service? Are they providing physical items, inventory, some sort of service, intangible, tangible, you know, all those questions.
And that's when you knew that these meme stocks, that these pumps were gonna, like, fucking fall off a cliff in the long run, because there wasn't any facts that were supporting why this stock is this high, correct?
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, like that's what I went. And when I was first learning about stock options, that was actually at the same time of the height of those meme stocks. Cause my friends teaching me that, yo, shout out to Rich Guap, first episode. He taught me about this. So when he taught me about this, I was like, okay, like this is how like corporate America makes their money. This is how like people like on the next level and the thought process of making outside income aside from their job. Like if they put their time and the due diligence and like put their wherewithal, like the time to like really learn this shit, you can make money. So that was the shit that I was like, okay, I'm about this shit. When I start like making it like enough money that I could like play around with the stock market, I'm gonna fuck with it, you know? So then, but the thing about my boy is like my boy, he was dealing with a mentor, like with a mentorship about like stock options and stuff. And he goes and he was saying that the dude that was like selling the mentorship, he didn't believe in puts because he didn't, but like he thought that was bad karma about betting against the company. He goes, that's just like fucked up and shit. I go, but man, if the company, it's like, it's not my fault that the company's fucked up. Like, you know, like if you can make money off of it, like it's not on you.
I mean, in this industry, you can't have a moral like that, you know, because you understand, you want the gain, somebody's got to pay. That's what you call it, a zero balance system. For every debit is a credit, for every loss is a win. So at the end of the day, you could be winning, but somebody else is losing. And that's how the world finance works.
Yeah, like it's dog eat dog, unfortunately, with that part. And when I learned was, like, you know, so I was going with the ideology about the positivity of the stocks and stuff of like, you know, companies, the good stuff and stuff. So then when I was looking at the meme stocks, I seen they skyrocketed. And then like from day 1 to day 2, and then by day 5, they were back down to where they started from. And I go, yo, if we can make money on the top end, I said, well, like, and there's puts as well. I said, why aren't we making money when we know when the come down's coming? You know, like, because like the ideology didn't like make sense to me when he said that it was just a positive. So I was like, yo, like there's money here to be had on the bullshit side, unfortunately. I'm like, and that has nothing to, like, I'm not like, I'll still go shop in GameStop. I'll buy Madden maybe, you know, like, just to like support and shit. But like, there's money to be made, like, and that has nothing to do with like you, like as a person and shit, or like in the morality of things. So I was like, yo, man, like now, like that's the thing that needs to be heard. Like, yo, there's money to be made if a company, if you know a company's doing bad and you don't see it going any better, why not? Like, I've been seeing like there was a pharmacy that's closing down, like Rite Aids or something. Like, there's a couple of Rite Aids.
Yeah, they closed down the one from was it 207 by Inwood?
Yeah,
Broadway. Mm-hmm. That one been there for years, and you know, to be surprised that they closed it, they shut it down. And you know, I've been seeing a lot about that in the recent year that you know, Rite Aids have been shutting down a lot of these stores. And mind you, it's funny because if like back like 10 years ago, my first investment experience was penny stock, which my one of my general manager from my old gym company I used to work for, Bally's, he put me onto it. Man was heavy on the stock and investment. He's kind of like the origin point. He's like, listen, Paul, you make money, just invest in penny stock, this and that. You know, this is like 10 years ago. He's like, invest in this in stock, you'll make a gain because a gain is a gain at the end of the day. And it kind of helped me understand the value of money, gains, and also like, how the finance world work. I'm thankful for that at a very young age. Thank you, Alan Ramirez. I'm not gonna forget about that.
Oh, you did that for him. Yo, you did that for him and you doing it with it. Yo, that's good shit, man.
And, that being that, Rite Aid is shutting down. Like, for example, there's certain companies that either they're closing more stores because even in the Wall Street Journal says a lot of these corporations right now during this time are making cuts. They're trying to save because it's a big domino effect. Pandemic is over. People got to go back to these office because somebody paid for these office commercial real estate, or if not, the real estate commercial industry is going to crash. It's going to keep going. It's like a domino effect.
What's up with these leases though, man? Like, are these leases like that long that these offices?
Yeah, commercial is different. It's not like, residential. When you think about commercial, think about it like 5, 10 years, 20 years. These are like offices, like commercial office, but that's why all these companies are forcing their employees to go back from remote to hybrid or full-time in the office, because these companies paid they took out bank loans to, lease his place, lease his office. And then because they don't have no more employees working at the office and, sales slowed down during pandemic, it's causing a whole domino effect where there's a lot of default in commercial real estate. And that's a big money for the banks because banks really depends a lot on that. Like the whole Silicon Valley had an impact because of that. Basically, it was a lot of commercial defaults.
Because I was wondering, I seen that they defaulted and stuff, but I wasn't saying like what was the key factor of it.
And every time that's why a lot of companies are forcing their employee, even after saying, you could work remote for the rest, yada yada. But now they're saying no, because you got to go back. We got to make use of this office space, and we got to make sure we use all our money because this is not cheap. Like one of the last company I worked for was a National Debt, had a really great office right there in 180 Maiden Lane. I'm pretty sure that was money. And, company, you want to make the best out of all the money you expend. If you're going to spend a large amount of money, you want to make sure you get the best out of it. Man,
for sure. But like, fuck, don't make the office a fucking office. You know what I'm saying? I've learned, I've been learning in every aspect of like this journey of being like an owner or whatnot, and being an entrepreneur and learning through this time frame that if I want, say for instance, because whatever, we have space, and with our space, we want to make it an experience for whatever staff we're gonna have in the future for when this expands and this grows and this gets a little bigger. And I wouldn't want my employees to come into an office to then just sit down at a computer and just there, you got to make it an experience for your people so that they would be excited to come to the office, Fuck it. I think if I were to have an office, for commercial use and stuff, I'm having ping pong tables, hockey tables, fucking pull up fucking bar, a little basketball net and shit, little hoop and shit, some video games and stuff, so that they can feel at ease that they're at work but not really at work. In
a massage chair.
A fucking massage chair, man. Was that is that your go-to? That shit look like a little twinkle came into your eye just asking about that.
It's a past memory. I had a massage chair before my old company. During the stressful times, sit on that massage chair and just wave out.
Just unwind, right?
Unwind. And then go back to the war. Go back to the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Go into the trenches of it.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, man. So so you did good with the meme stocks. We talked about the option stuff. What other financial little gems that you think you might have that could help out the people with one?
Well, just stick to basic stocks. If it's your first time, you want to invest, you want to make money, always look for stocks that has dividend. You always don't want to put, also you want to diverse your portfolio,
right? You
don't want to put all your eggs in one basket because, God forbid that whole industry or that whole company goes bankruptcy. Basically, that's bye-bye to your gains and everything. So you want to always spread out. And that's what you always want to have 4 to 3 platforms you invest on. You want to have multiple type of investment, international, national. You want to make physical, commodities. Yeah, thanks.
Got you.
Also service and also tourist industry. You got to just a little bit of everything because if one fail, at least you got 7 others coming for you.
Got you. And what would be a stock that you would think that people should first research or invest in that they have a good gain or a good public backing and standing?
I would say to keep it the most general, and this is basically something I learned in my Lehman College days when I was taking
Shout out to Lehman.
My accounting finance class. One of my professor always direct us to not just dividend, but here's a key example of a perfect stock: AT&T. AT&T been around for almost 100 years. Think about it. Longevity is great. They provide service. Honestly, they pay dividends. Think about it. You look at their history. They have a long track history that you could track them from 100 years investment. Also, it's a company that because of the service they provide with phone and, honestly, not just phone, cable service, satellite service, dish service, all the above. They also get sponsorship from governments. The government always going to cover you 100%. If you're a company that a government sponsor, or provides any grant or help, be assured that the default rate will be lower than that usual, because governments always back up, these corporations that provide service for them
with good standing and whatnot. So that's when the government subsidizes,
Yep.
right? That's sort of like a subsidy. So that's
Yep.
what, like when you hear subsidy, that means the government's paying that company to provide that service.
Think about it. They provide phone service for not just like, public, also for like government agencies, also for like, the military, also for like foreign. So it's like, there's a company like that you want to look into, longevity, but also you got others. You always don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. AT&T is a perfect example of a perfect stock to me. That's my opinion.
Gotcha.
People might think, but stock that's not as expensive. 1, 2, you get dividends, really good dividend rates, longevity, been around for 100 years, and it innovates.
Yeah, you got to be innovative because look, it goes from like shit in the phone industry. Like shit, I was in the phone industry. It went from like 3G, 4G, 5G, and 4G LTE, then 5G. Like all this stuff, like you keep like innovating. Innovation is key. Like the growth of a company, that's where you see the real like strength of a company. If they keep on changing, keep on striving to get better, that's when you know like that's a company you could put money behind, right?
It's true.
There you go. That's what we about here, bro.
So no, honestly, that's perfect. And then you got other, stocks. You got think about it. You got software, netware. You got gold, silver. Something that's really important is like those solid investment. You got gold, silver, copper.
Oh, those are what are those like? What are they called? Materials? What is it?
Commodities.
Raw materials like resources, natural resources. What is it called? Like, what's the shit? It's a term, right?
Another brain fart.
Damn, we fucked it. Precious metals.
Precious metal. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Because
there you go.
The Wall Street Journal says that session, the precious metal session. I'm like, go straight to it.
Oh yeah, because there was for example for like Tesla, for their batteries, they use lithium.
Yo, honestly, EV is a way to go. Like anywhere, like every article I read, like in the business development, business finance, everything, it's all about EV, lithium and copper, how basically it's taking over. Because there's only a limited source right now at the moment. They're predicting. So when they say things like that, you want to get your hands on right away. Because it's like, think about like the San Francisco gold rush. It was limited source of gold. So people that knew ahead of time got their hands on it, and their family were well off for years, generations.
Then everybody else fucking sucked.
It's a part of life. It's like, think about it. It's like, it's first come, first serve. You gotta, it's like somebody else's misery, somebody else's happiness in the finance world.
And get there at the ground level. Get there in the beginning before that shit takes off and that shit leaves you behind.
Yeah, you got the .com era, the meme stock era. You got the options when it first started.
The Less Excel era.
Less Excel era. Honestly, like on Excel, so literally, what can we do? How many subscribers we need to get you for YouTube to start sponsoring us?
Yo, like that shit was actually like a key point that I seen like a couple of weeks ago. That YouTube went from 1,000 subscribers, they cut that shit in half to 500 to then be able to start monetizing off your channel. So that was huge. And that shit had me hype. I was like, yo, everybody subscribe. You don't even gotta watch. But you should watch. So goddamn, like why not? You got people from the hood trying to making it happen for them. Why not, right?
You got the best education, the one education you get in public school. Like, I wish I learned this in public school, how to do my taxes and manage my taxes, or even balance sheet and bills. No, instead they taught us things like that are really not your day to day. But
what's the color of an apple?
Red.
Typically, right? But go ahead, what you saying?
No, but it's like things that those are really important things. It's like the only time I got that experience was like my senior year in like economics class, like government economics. That was the only time, and I'm like, I feel like we should spend a whole year, the curriculum should spend a whole year basically like educating like these high schoolers, these upcoming generation, how to invest, how to allocate their funds and money, because it's going to be helps the community in the long run. Yeah. And development. Luckily, we were that generation that right between our parents and our, our kids and stuff, we were able to go from the analog age to the digital age, more accessibility. Like you said earlier, basically now we able to invest more. We have more on time news. Before, you know, we didn't have that, like these investment apps, these platforms.
Yeah, because all that shit was kept in the dark from us. But now everything's right in front of us. That's what I'm saying. The information age. We're in that time where, yo, it's on us.
Oh yeah, let's
It's
excel.
on us every day. Damn it, every fucking day. Let's excel. It's how bad. Like I'm like, yo, if you're really about your money, like these are the things that are out there for you. It's not hidden anymore. It can't
My
be.
thing is that if you live in New York, sorry,
Yeah.
my sound messed up. You can't be broke because you know what? Because there's money everywhere in every corner in New York to make. At the end of the day, like you got to realize this is people die coming to New York to like the market, the center of the world, New York City, finance,
Opportunity,
exactly.
Inspiration.
So this is the money. This is where the money's at. You go to Wall Street. Wall Street is one of the richest districts in the world. Think about it. No matter how grayscale Gotham looks, the world's richest point in the world is right there.
Yo, man. And not only is it rich in just like with monetarily, it's rich with like history and culture. Like those buildings are fucking phenomenal, yo. If you ever come to New York, y'all should definitely walk through Wall Street. And if y'all can't get inspired by just looking at the buildings, I don't know what the fuck y'all like. I don't know what the fuck inspires you
Like,
because
you look at those buildings, you see the labor, like you know, one of those brick weight like a ton. I was like, yeah, the pyramid was great, but like building a skyscraper,
pyramids in the middle of the desert, bro.
Pyramids are great, but when you have a freaking, you seen those Federal Reserve blocks?
Nah, those shits are crazy.
I'm like, god damn, like
Nah,
that's
those
labor, like you know, like. New York City is gonna be that city that's probably gonna be lasting forever. Hopefully, you know.
It's timeless. It's a beautiful.
It's like,
New York is a beautiful place, bro. Even with the bullshit around it,
yeah, you gotta love it.
gotta love it. Cause shit, if we can't love it, who the fuck can't? Like, right? That's what like I know like people get a little sick and tired of New York because it's just like, you know, so much. It's so much hustle and bustle going on and stuff, but. Yo, man, like I just went and I just seen the Statue of Liberty like last week and stuff. And I'm like, how can you not feel something being here?
Exactly. You wake up in the middle of 4 a.m, you get your bacon, egg, and cheese in the local deli. You don't get that privilege nowhere else.
Not nowhere. Look at that shit. New York privilege, y'all. Yo, guys, man. Yo, Paul, it's been a pleasure having you here, brother.
Oh, dude, it was a fucking honor. Excuse my language.
Nah, we need that, man, just so you can say it's just real
but,
shit.
You know, it was an honor having, you know, being here and being a part of the show. And I look forward to more growth. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. Let's help Excel get those 500.
We need that. Yo,
Those 500.
fucking mash the button. If you mash your button, mash somebody else's button. Yeah,
If not, send me your credential. I'll mash the button for you.
That shit is encrypted. We'll whatever. We'll delete it off our history. Yo, guys, you already know, man. Appreciate you guys watching another episode of the Let's Excel Show. You already know Thursdays at 8. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this shit, yo. Because if y'all keeping it to yourselves, y'all greedy, just like Wall Street.
You don't want to be greedy. You gotta learn how to pull out.
No, right? We gotta learn how to pull out, yo, guys. We already know. Let's Excel, yeah.